You're listening to Country Music Junkies, hosted by Patrice Whiffen. This week on Country Music Junkies, I am pleased to be chatting with Paige Rutledge, Oakville, Ontario native. What's going on, Paige?
Hello. Well, thank you so much for having me today. All exciting things going on, right? Released a new single about a month ago, so that's also been exciting.
I know.
So, yeah.
So many things going on in your world. I love it.
It's been busy.
Let's jump right into the new single, Take Me Back to Tiki. Where did the story come from? How did this all kind of begin for you?
Yeah, so Take Me Back to Tiki, actually, it has a story. It's one of my songs that really comes from that true story, like, probably the most, I guess, like, vulnerable, genuine place, like, within me.
Okay.
So I have a cottage up it's in a little small town called Washago. It's just before, kind of in between Aurelia and Gravenhurst area. So it's not too far. And when everything, kind of got a little crazy in March, my family was like, why don't we go to the cottage and, we'll go for the week. We'll see what happens.
Right.
And then we ended up staying till September, which we do go up every summer, all the time. But obviously this year was a little bit more of an extended cottage break from March to September. And so at the cottage, we happened to have a tiki bar. And we built a tiki bar about 10 years ago. And it is this wonderful little cabana bar that looks over top of the lake. And
cool.
It's really awesome. And it's become this place where everyone on our road comes down to, hang out on Fridays and Saturdays. And we play music, probably a little too loud, too late into the night. But honestly, all of my best memories from summer are at the Tiki Bar. And Tiki has been, like, the place where I kind of sit when I just write songs all day and I look out at the lake and the sun. And it's a very special place for me. I mean, besides all the fun that I have at the cottage and there, it also is just kind of like my relaxing and my happy and my safe place to do music.
Right.
So, yeah. And so my cousin, Alex Tamaro, who's also a musician, we were up there for the quarantine period together, and everyone was looking at us and they're like, why don't we have a theme song for Tiki? we're both kind of like, I don't know, like, we just haven't got that far ever. And then, we're like, we could do this. Like, what a fun little quarantine project. So it kind of started off as a little bit of a, I guess, not a joke, because it wasn't a joke, but kind of just a fun task. And then we wrote the song in, like, less than 2 days, and we were like, oh my God, we have to do something with this song. So we produced everything up there by ourselves, with all the equipment that we had up there. Called in some friends for guitar tracks and drum tracks here and there. And here we are with Take Me Back to Tiki.
What a cool story, and what a legacy piece for your family, your cottage, and all that sort of stuff. That's super cool. I love that. Now, for those who haven't heard the song before, how would you describe the style, the sound, that kind of thing?
Yeah, actually, that's a really great question. So it's definitely, like, I am a country girl through and through. I love country music so much, but I definitely experimented a lot more on this particular song than I have in the past.
Okay.
And I'm a huge Shania Twain fan, and I love kind of that pop influence that she has, like just that, like, subtle element of pop music that Shania brings into her music. And so I focused a little bit more on that, bringing that in to Tiki than some of my other stuff. So I guess I would describe it as, it's still a country song, but a little bit more of pop elements, but just a fun kind of, like, take you back to summer, feel good vibe.
Love it. That, I think, is the perfect way to describe it. That's awesome. Yeah. Now, you mentioned that some of your other music is a little more country, less pop, that kind of thing. So let's kind of talk about some of the other songs that fans can listen to. Maybe pick, one or two that really kind of stand out for you, for those that aren't maybe familiar with your music.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So I actually released a single in January as well called Without Me.
Yeah.
And I love that one. Like, that's probably one of my favorite songs I've written. And yeah, it gets me every time. Honestly, I know I wrote it, but it did come from such a personal place. And, it was about, like, a real experience. So I do love that one. And I think a lot of people can kind of, relate to that song where, you go through a breakup. Maybe it's, like, for the better. It's, like, one of those kind of songs. And then one of my other favorite songs that I've released is called Just Friends. And it's funny because when I was recording this, I liked it, obviously. I chose to record it. But I didn't think that it was going to have, like, an impact on people. And I go to shows or whatever, and, maybe some people have come to see me multiple times. And I see them singing along to Just Friends. And I'm like, what is happening?
That is really awesome.
Cool. Yeah, because I didn't think that was going to happen.
Right, but again, a relatable song that, speaks true to you, but also it can be applied to, I'm sure, lots of different situations and life experiences. So that's really cool.
For sure.
Now, Paige, if fans want to connect with you, where's the best place for them to go?
Ooh, well, I love social media. I'm on Instagram definitely the most, and I've been trying to get into TikTok recently. What a fun app, first of all. But
I find that you get on it and then you spend hours and hours of time.
Oh my God, right? I've talked about that in so many writing sessions. So like, yeah, wasted. I'm all night watching TikToks. But yeah, definitely any of social media. Instagram's definitely the best, and everything is at Paige Rutledge.
Awesome. All right. Well, we will include a link to connecting with you in the posting of this interview. Paige, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. This was great. Thank you so much for having me.